Is this?
It's also good.
Isn't it the same as the one that's in Liddy?
I think he's taken over the business, I think, because that's who he works for.
Because somebody
think what it
posted
is.
on Facebook, they're like, that seems like a conflict of interest.
Yeah, I do believe we realized that, but I think that's what it is. I think he worked for him.
Got it.
Paula, are we ready?
We are ready.
All right. Welcome to the Troy City Council meeting for December 16th. And I'd like to call the meeting to order and start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comments on matters on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to new business. We'll go through our consent agenda. We'll go through our claims and our minutes. Good. I'll ask for a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Moving on to new business licenses. Master Touch Electrical Corporation, Josh and Wyatt Brothers. Please come up to the podium and kind of give us a little description of what you're going to be doing as a plumber.
Electrical service contractor. We're taking over the business January 1st. We're going to keep, we'll have 9 employees total, residential, commercial, industrial. So, about the gist of it.
How far out are you guys? That's the question.
About 2 months.
Oh, that's what I figured.
Yeah, and that's I've been telling everyone for a month.
Nice.
Anyone have any questions?
He does good work.
Do you do just new construction, or do you,
We do everything.
like,
Yeah.
do people call you when they need
Yeah, we get
something,
service calls,
emergency
remodels,
kind of-
emergencies, yeah, anything we need to do, so.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Ask for a motion to accept new business license for Master Touch Electrical Corporation.
I'll make a motion to accept. We need a plumber. I'm not we.
Can I get a second?
Sure.
I'll second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Moving on to second business license, concrete polishing and restoration. And Josh Lowe,
They're out of Indiana or something. They're one of the Dollar General.
Dollar General.
contractors.
Yeah, they're already gone, actually,
Yeah,
so.
that's been sitting here since like the day after the last meeting. so.
Okay. Well, in case they have to come back, I get a motion to accept the new business license for concrete polishing and restoration.
I'll make a motion to accept after the fact.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Unanimous. All right, well, moving on to appointment of the open city council position. I'm going to turn this over to Shauna, since this is a council situation. Just facilitate.
Okay.
So, we're just going to go through, we're going to interview 4 applicants. Unless anyone wants to do it privately.
They're all the same questions for each person.
Yeah.
Looks like everyone's here.
I guess, do we want to have the other 3 step outside and wait?
Yeah, that way everyone's hearing the questions.
Oh, so you're getting outside.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go from the top of the pile, and so Jesse's letters on the top.
Do you want us to go outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that way you won't have a heads up about the questions.
It's like, you're just like 3-minute questions, right?
This is going to be fairly quick.
Yeah.
Depends how long-winded everyone is. Is the distillery open?
No.
Thank you.
Jesse.
So we'll just ask everyone the same questions and same people asking the same questions. So I'll start. Question number 1, tell us about yourself and what interests you about the city council position.
I guess the position itself, I've always felt a need to want to give back to my community and to, contribute somehow. So when this position came open, I felt I was particularly well suited for it, given my professional expertise and experience in local government, land use development and planning. And so at the encouragement of several community members, I decided to put my name in the hat. As for myself, I've lived in the city limits for a little over 3 years now. Moved to the Act when I was 17, back in '99. So I've been around the area for a long time, have extended family here. So this is certainly home, and it's a little new being in town, but certainly enjoy it. And with kids in school, it's good to be in town. Give them all those opportunities that a town affords you. As of course, my wife, growing up in the Act, missed out on all that stuff. So.
In your opinion, what is the most pressing issue facing the city at this time?
I think first and foremost, budget is always a consideration. People are feeling pinched by the economy. Certainly the state having raised property taxes is affecting everybody pretty hard. So I think just being fiscally responsible and making sure people are getting the most value for their tax money is probably the most important thing I see.
Okay. Can you share how you can fit in time for the city council and the rest of your life activities? Good luck.
Yeah, just proper scheduling and commitment, and I already regularly attend several meetings tomorrow. I've got county planning board, but yeah, just scheduling and commitment. If I say I'll be there, I'll be there.
Next question, have you been in a role where two people wanted you to take opposite positions on the same subject?
Yes. Often. Do you want me to elaborate?
Yeah, I guess so. How did that go?
I think a quality that I have, is just being a good listener and making sure that, I hear everybody, everybody's point of view and really try to make the most educated decision you can. What's the best for the community. Sometimes, you just really have to go into things with an open mind and just listen to everybody. We're representing, we the people, so just come into an open mind and hopefully make the most informed decision and take accountability for that decision.
Can you share an example where you played a leadership role?
Oh gosh, leadership role. I guess, professionally, as director for Lincoln County Planning Department, I take the lead on quite a few projects and initiatives. Affordable housing is something that, it's in the Lincoln County Growth Policy, and I've been taking kind of an active leadership role, in trying to pursue those goals with, limited resources, which can be pretty challenging. So, I guess I take pride in it and just put some, personal motivation into it, trying to network and coordinate people over, trying to work on some potential workforce housing for the school here in Troy. So, one of many examples.
Okay, Jesse, you have any questions for us?
I guess just, if I understand it correct, this appointment would be to fill the seat until the next general election next November.
Correct.
Okay.
That was the fill the position.
Oh, no,
until-
it's until yours.
Till
So
it's
when
done.
is yours going to be up?
Yeah, it's until my position's up, which is
4 years?
3 years.
2 years after that.
2 years.
I thought yours.
2 years. Yeah, it'll be 2 years after this year.
Okay.
This will be my second year.
I thought you were the 2 year.
I'm the 2-year guy, he's the 4.
Yeah, you and I are the 4 years.
Okay, 3, whatever.
Yeah, 3 more years.
Yeah.
It's all blurred since 2018. You'll get there if you're appointed. So.
Thank you, Jesse.
Okay, thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
And for you guys, you don't have to stay
Yeah.
for the business if you don't want to. You're welcome to, but you don't have to.
I've never been to a meeting, so
Okay.
check it out.
So next.
And these are just in order of when they were received. That's
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Doopy
So
next?
Doopy's next.
He's waiting.
Can we stand at the podium?
Oh, you can, either or. You can sit since you.
You look like sitting is better.
Yeah. Knees are killing him.
Being handicapped, that was
Okay, first question. Tell us about yourself and what interests you about the city council position.
Well, I came here 30 years ago, well, more like 30 years ago. I know what it's like to move into a new place and get a new start. I worked for the city for 23 years. I understand that side of it, and I've always been interested in working with my community, been on the fire department for 23 years. And I just feel, something to do. Continue on with what I was.
In your opinion, what's the most pressing issue that Troy's facing right now?
I would say, if anything, it's everybody trying to get along and work through the problems instead of saying, this is the problem, it's my way or no way. It's working together.
Thank you.
Can you share how you can fit the time for city council and the rest of your life activities?
Well, I'm retired, so
Well played.
throw out there.
Have you been in a role where two people wanted you to take opposite positions on the same subject? And if so, how did that go?
Well, I've always been one to try to look at both sides, but I've never actually had to pull both sides.
Can you share an example of where you played a role in leadership?
Well, I used to run a crew when I was out working on the road. I've been lead lineman for the last few years since Bob left, last couple.
You got any questions for us, dude?
I was the second assistant fire chief for a couple of years, and then I was also assistant fire marshal.
Thank you.
Got any questions for us, dude?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
No. That'd be your job, Bob.
Yeah.
And good luck.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
It's our turn
You
next.
said you asked her to shut up. That's a foolish move.
Ready?
These are being recorded.
Sean, Tammy, ready?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Lorraine.
Lorraine? You submitted your letter last, we're going in order.
Yeah. They were just put in the packets
Yeah.
in order they came in.
Want me here?
You can sit wherever.
You would not believe what Bob said.
She's been married to him long enough. She would do it.
Okay, first question. Tell us about yourself and what interests you about the city council position.
Well, my name's Lorraine Henson. I have been back in Troy for about 14 years. Born and raised here, but then left for a while and I lived in Billings for a little bit and in Norman, Oklahoma. So grew up in a small town. I love the small town feel, but I also have outside knowledge. There's a real world out there. And what I am interested in the city council position is that I just think it's real important to have somebody in here that knows the community. Well, you gotta know your community. Let's see what else. So I work for Lincoln County. I work for Judge Sheffield, or with Judge Sheffield. So I think that kind of gives me an edge on seeing where gaps and needs are in our area, in Lincoln County, but in Troy too. So.
In your opinion, what is the most pressing issue facing the city at this time?
That's a difficult one because we have quite a few. I think our kids that are in bad home situations. I think we need to, and I don't have the answer by myself certainly, but we need to help. That's heartbreaking.
Thank you.
Can you share how you can fit the time for city council into the rest of your life activities?
Well, I work from 8 to 5. Other than that, I'm pretty much home. I have a 20-minute hot tub stint every night. Kids are grown, grandkids are out of state.
Have you been in a role where two people wanted you to take opposite positions on the same subject? And if so, how did that go?
I don't know that I have been. Bob and I have been on opposite sides of this. I am pretty good at seeing both sides. And if I make somebody mad, then they're mad, but...
I'll vouch for that.
Can you share an example of where you've played a leadership role?
I have played a leadership role in a lot of situations. I was an office manager for a chiropractic office when I was in Oklahoma. I did that. I was a manager for 8 years. I worked at the practice for 12. I've been in co-leadership situations. Bob and I have I've owned one business by myself and we owned two together. And they were successful where we were. They're not for Troy, but I worked at the school. That was kind of a leadership situation.
Thank you.
All right, you got any questions for us, Larry?
I don't believe so.
Thank you.
Fire away.
Starts at that end.
Okay, so first question. Tell us about yourself and what interests you about the city council position.
Well, born and raised in Troy, graduated in '66. I've attended hundreds and hundreds of city council meetings. I've been active, mostly volunteer while I'm on the board of Milner Lake Cemetery. Volunteer quite often with the VFW. I think common sense is a big deal to be on the city council. I've seen a lot of changes in Troy. It's not getting any bigger since I graduated from high school. We're shrinking. Our budget is in the millions. I think there's work to be done on tightening our belts.
In your opinion, what is the most pressing issue facing Troy at this time?
Money.
Can you share how you can fit the time for the city council into the rest of your life activities?
I'm retired from retirement. I have all the time in the world to research, to ask questions. I want to call Tony Morissette.
Have you been in a role where two people wanted you to take opposite positions on the same subject? And if so, how did that go?
people can sit down, level-headed, not scream at each other, exchange dialogues, and maybe come to a workable conclusion. You got to compromise. It's not a cut and dry situation. Each person or each party, no matter the topic, both can have to give and take for the best solution at that time. Then later down the road, things may change. You go back and you work it until you solve the problem.
Can you share an example where you played a leadership role?
Well, 35 years as a survey party chief.
As a what? I'm sorry?
Survey party chief, heavy construction. I work with construction foremen, project managers. Well, I think my work ethic started back in '68 when I first went to work with Bear Creek Mining up on the mine, the exploration work.
Do you have any questions for us, Paul?
No,
Okay, well, thank you.
just short one person.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Larry, you ready for your questions?
Yeah, I'm fine. You guys.
Yeah, so, like in private?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just keep the meeting going, but have this be a closed
Yep.
door portion.
Well, if we close the meeting, you gotta close
Everything.
everything.
We should just finish out what we're doing, don't you think?
You can't legally close the meeting.
No.
Right.
You didn't put it in there.
Well, no, it has to be either they're discussing a lawsuit that they're currently in, or it is
Oh,
a
okay.
personnel issue.
matter.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Sheriff. I can just go through the order and ask for a motion to accept. And we can just vote that way. Well, go through and do each individual one. Okay, we'll start with the first one. Jesse, I'll ask for a motion to accept Jesse Hogg as to appoint to the open city council position. Do I have a motion?
I would make a motion to accept Jesse for the position.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Unanimous? Do I have a motion to accept Dennis as for a city council person? Motion failed. Do I have a motion to accept Lorraine for the open city council position? Motion failed. And do I have a motion for Paul? for the open city council position. Okay, motion failed. Jesse, you are in the hot seat. Thank everyone for coming out and expressing their interest. Moving on to local government review study commission updates. I think I will leave this one in the hands of Jamie.
So we're gonna have our first meeting on Thursday at, Thursday at 6. Yes. We went to, Alona and myself went to a training in Whitefish Tuesday? Yes, last Tuesday. And it was basically just discussing the history of Troy, discussing our charter, and then the different forms of government options that are out there. It wasn't really as far as like, okay, now do this. It was just kind of discussing the history. So moving forward, I think the 3 candidates that are part of the study, I think it would be best to invest in some of the training options that are there, because this one, it was like a jumping off point, but that's it. I feel like they'll be very much in the dark. And I didn't realize how strict the whole process was through MCA, like what you can and can't do, and it's a lot.
But there's no guide on how to do it.
No, it's just a lot of, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, good luck. That was pretty much the gist of the 8 hours of training. But yeah, so first meeting will be Thursday. And that's about it.
Great.
Not much yet.
And that's a public meeting, right?
It has to be.
advertised
Yep.
yet.
Yep.
And where are you having your meeting at?
Here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Paula's gonna put out the agenda tomorrow and get it posted for everybody.
What time's that meeting?
6 o'clock.
Anyone have any questions on that? Okay, moving on to the next agenda item. First Montana Bank, Intrafi and FDIC insurance above the limits. This has to do with our bonds that we have at First Montana Bank, and I'm sure I may get this a little confusing, but our bonds that we have through the federal treasury are held and managed and serviced through First Montana Bank, and then we have some at Lincoln County Credit Union. What's happening is the service fee on those bonds by the entity within First National Bank is going up dramatically. And so First Montana Bank has basically came up with this as a solution to be able to manage and service our bonds at a cheaper and lower service rate than what the current one is. So far, so good, Paula?
Yep.
Okay.
They, that fee is not to us. That
Yeah.
doesn't come down to us. That's just what First Montana Bank is charged for the whole process that they do. Because this is for your FDIC insured for $250,000. We have more than that in there, so in order to cover that, they have these processes.
And even switching over, our bonds are still insured, they're still protected, they're, guaranteed, they're just very similar to the federal treasury.
Yeah.
So we do need to, do we need to make a motion to accept it? Because Jackson said he needed it in the minutes.
Yes, so they want to switch over to this, but you guys have to accept that change, and then we work with them to get it all set up. On our side, what it would take is there's 2 parts to it. So Cedars is for CDs, so there really won't be much change on that side, but the other part with the checking accounts that we have, that will be a change where there will be one additional account that's called the sweep account. So they will work with us to figure out what is the amount we need to keep in the accounts, and then they'll just sweep every day.
Oh.
So, and invest it put back whatever needs to be used, whatever's over gets swept out.
Will that cost the city anything, or is that something that the bank?
That's all on,
Okay.
So it's all on them.
yeah.
Well, I think that's what we need to do.
So I'll ask for a motion to accept First Montana Bank to move our bonds over to the intra-fee system.
I would make a motion to have that taken care of.
Can you say it word for word?
No, I can't. I'm not even going to try.
I will second the motion.
All in favor? Oh, still voting. Yeah. Police Commission, it's time that we need to reseat some members and/or send out some letters for interest.
Yeah.
I think we have 3 members currently.
Right, three.
Oh, 3.
And we had asked for letters of interest when we were asking for
The
Mayor?
plan, or the government studies.
government study. Okay, yeah. So we only had one, I believe, and that was Ben Kibbe. I haven't talked to the members that are currently on it. Some of them may be interested in remaining, but they were all 3 appointed as a temporary seat until we could get new ones up.
Because they had prior knowledge, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we going to try to go for 3 seats, or are we going to try to retain somebody that has knowledge?
We probably should look at our ordinances about that, what it says. I know we're supposed to stagger them. So if one of them would like to stay on, that would be ideal. So they could kind of get the new folks,
Yeah.
up to speed. But
So we would do this, well, reach out for more letters of interest?
I sure can.
Depending on,
I can post it again.
yeah.
I could call the 3 that we have and see if anyone's interested in still staying on, so we have a number, so we know how many positions we need to fill. We do need to probably vote next month on this because we have a 4th officer, and then I'm not sure where Michael's at in his process.
I
But
think he's going to Helena pretty soon, I do believe.
He's there now. He,
Okay, that's pretty soon.
I had MPAT this morning, he passed that, had some, I don't know, eye exam and some other stuff, and then he did the psych test this afternoon.
Nice.
Then he'll have some other tests coming up. So, all for it.
so we'll need to get that rolling and get that in place, so we will be needing that. So I will make a couple calls this week and send out a blanket email to everyone, letting them know what I found out. Anyone have any other questions on that? Old business, AFR contract, so this is to bring in Montana City Towns and Leagues, that acronym, to be able to help us do the AFR, the annual financial reports for the end of year. I think everybody's seen the contract. Levi, the attorney, did review and has no issues with the contract. Does anyone have any questions on that, to be able to get that in place and get the AFR going rather soon?
No, I think we need to make that happen.
Sooner better.
Yeah, like immediately.
All right, okay, ask for a motion to approve the AFR contract and get that signed and implemented.
I'll make a motion to approve the AFR contract.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Unanimous. Moving on to the department reports. Don't have anything outstanding. I did see that Clay, you guys got the trees decorated for the kiddos.
Yep. And we got the new lights at City Hall put up.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Yeah. And you did get $10,000 for new lights and stuff for next year.
Yeah, well, we won't look at purchasing stuff until after Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, get the good deal. Yeah, heck, yeah. You don't buy them today, you buy them after.
Yeah.
We did have a donor come through for that.
Oh, nice, nice.
How'd that go with the older kids?
I don't know. It was great for me. We just put the lights on the trees and then they came down and done it all themselves.
Oh.
Because they came down as a school. So
Oh.
normally with the little kids, it's one class or
At a
two classes
time,
at a
yeah.
time, and we can work with them. Well, when they brought the whole junior high and high school down, what are two guys going to do to help? So it's better to be like, you guys have fun.
They're taller.
Yeah, just don't rip it off the tree.
We gave them each a ladder and said, good luck, and
Yeah.
they did what they did.
Nice.
Yeah, I went by and saw Keith and was like,
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah. Yeah, it worked.
Did we give them a date to when you want to take the lights down?
It's usually after the first of the year. So probably when the kids come back, if we can get them to.
We don't come back till the 6th, I do
Yeah, or
believe.
something. So, I mean, that's not gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Plus your days. So.
Okay. When I hear, I'll let you know.
Yep. And then my pole trailer's done. So I'm gonna try and go down and grab it. So that way when I go to get a tag, because I gotta get tags for the Ranger because they got stolen in Helena. Yeah. Yeah. John was down at his school and when he got back here, he's like, there's the tags out on the Ranger. So apparently in the parking lot of the hotel or at the school or something, someone stole the tags off the Ranger.
Tag or plates?
Plates, that's what I'm
Plates,
saying.
oh,
Plates,
okay.
yeah, plates.
The entire license
So
plate?
they're running some exempt plates somewhere.
Yep.
Huh.
And so Helena PD knows about it. We've got a case number and everything. But the trailer's done, so I might as well go get the trailer and then get all plates at once instead of going and then coming back and then going again. So, yeah, real fun. He gets back and goes, I was like, I don't know either. See if the dash cam caught anything. Well, dash cam only works when the truck's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and apparently they were sneaky enough that they didn't shake the truck enough to set off the motion sensors on the dash cam. So,
You need to get those other bolts for it
well,
that you
yeah.
can't get off. You have
Well,
to roll them out.
so the front plate they didn't get all the way off. They tried, but we actually used bolts with lock washers.
Uh-huh.
So they would have to get underneath the off-road bumper to get it off. Well, they cut the zip ties thinking that was holding it. And yeah, but they got the back one. So someone was running a 56 plate in Helena doing something.
That won't stand out or anything.
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow.
Travis?
So for training, I was talking with Levi, he's getting pretty close to having our training put together, probably be about the middle of January. We go over some laws and constitutional stuff and everything, make sure that we're refreshed on that. He also spoke with the chief of police over in Libby, and I think they might come over and join us on that. So that'd be kind of cool because we do stuff with the sheriff's department, but we don't get to get together with Libby PD much. So just kind of build that relationship. So we have us talking aboard a guy, get a few patrol cars down to him, get some oil changes done, new battery and stuff. Sheriff's Department, we're still working with we still have some questions on the flex for evidence, and we're working on the records department. Some stuff came up with records and whose responsibility is for when people come in for reports and stuff like that. So Levi has our MOU on with the dispatch on that, and he's looking at over. Grants are pretty much the same. We're looking still. We got the fourth officer. Shop at the Cop was a success. Henry took the ball and ran with it on that, and did a good job there. This month, a little bit slower for calls for service. We got 35 and 5 agency assists.
Warren?
Yeah, so I,
Shooting from the hip?
I gotta apologize for that.
I didn't show paper.
I didn't get a paper one. But, so, basically, since the last council report, I was gone the first couple of weeks, but I had my guys working on a bunch of stuff. We ordered some light kits for the trucks, for just more lights while we're plowing. We ordered a backup alarm for the dump truck because it didn't have one, and we needed one for important stuff. So we've been doing a lot of maintenance stuff. They went completely through the backhoe the other day, greased it, changed the oil. We had a leak in hose we fixed. We did the same thing on the skid steer. We had to replace some belts at the blowers down there at the lagoon. We had a bunch of stuff like that. Lots of maintenance and just the little stuff that gets forgot about. We had a burial. That was after I got back. The water department, we've been, so those 100 meters that we got the grant to get, we worked on getting a bunch of those replaced, the zero reads that weren't working. We got quite a few of those. We're trying to beat the weather. So we got as many of those done as we could. We're still kind of going as long as the ground isn't covered in snow. We'll keep hacking on it. We had, but that's the biggest thing is like equipment and kind of just the little stuff. We had, the beavers have been down there playing hell at the park.
Saw that.
Yeah, so we,
By the yurt.
yeah. So we had a bunch of stuff to clean up there, keeping the leaves out of the drains every time because we've been getting more rain than snow. So keeping the streets and the drains and everything going. There's so many things I was going to mention. Anyway, yeah, so we've had plenty to keep us busy. I just, like I say, I just need to get a paper copy done. But yeah.
Did have our RPA meeting.
No, what's that?
The RPA meeting, we did have that
Yeah.
with Chris.
Oh,
Hayes.
yeah.
That went well. They're gonna, when's their pre-bid meeting?
It's coming right up here, I think right after Christmas.
Is it right after Christmas?
Right after
Yeah.
Christmas, they're gonna,
It's that first week in January.
yeah. Hopefully that'll be going out to bid pretty quick and we can get some contractors. It's gotta go through the DEQ thing first. And then hopefully we can get some contractors interested, get some bids going. That's what I was gonna say. The other thing, we started working on those couple doors that were bad at the fire hall.
Yeah.
Jesse actually kind of took it on himself he had a doctor's appointment over in Post Falls, and while he was there, he went to the, what do you call the reclaim?
The restore.
The restore, yeah. We got some good doors.
He found a couple of doors that were the right size that were really cheap, so he grabbed those. So we got some supplies. We're gonna rebuild the door frames and stuff. And the one at the end, it looked like crap, but we just kind of scuffed it down and put some paint on it, but it wasn't rotten. So we just kind of spruced it up a little bit. But we're trying to keep it, DJ said, like, little to no budget, so we're trying to keep it cheap. Yeah. So that's another little project we got going on. Yeah. So. Thank you, Ward.
Paula, Sharon?
Big thing is that I had a meeting with Danielle Vincent, that's her last name, from Local Government Services. She's the one who is the final decision on the audit extensions, and she contacted me and asked to meet. So we had a good discussion, and she did go ahead and approve it with the caveat that Nicole has to have this done by the end of January. Has to.
Period.
Yeah, and if she did not, she would not be approved for any more of our audits going forward. So we need to just cut ties and go with the new auditor regardless. I think.
Have you heard from her? Does she?
I
is she
have not, but I
hopeful?
know
I did.
you had.
I did talk to her, and I did pass on that same message that
Yeah.
Paula got from Danielle, and she was like, ooh, ooh. So she knows the seriousness of it. She's hoping to get us that audit by mid-January. I told her I was going to follow up every week with her to see where she is and with the progress of that. So I will make my call to her probably Thursday or Friday. Just to continue to press the issue of urgency.
That's the 22 budget, correct?
Yeah,
Or 22 and 23.
22, 23, yes.
She's hopeful to have both of them done by January?
She needs to have them
Yeah, because
done.
that's what her contract is.
Yeah.
Is for that. The other thing, I did ask Danielle, was this just something for us, or is this, Nicole's MO? She did say that, yeah, she has unfortunately been behind. She's a small firm, so she's inexpensive in the whole realm of it. In looking at new ones, Danielle did say it's probably going to be 2 to 3 times what we are now. Yeah.
But if we can get it done though,
Yeah. So
Yeah, missing out on grants
Right.
is costing us.
Right. And she said, if we, have someone we're thinking of, I could give her a call and she can kind of let us know how they.
That would be nice.
If she knows, she can let us know how they're doing. She did say, we're gonna have to do it for a 2-year. So we're gonna have to ask for 24, 25 to be done, and then maybe even say, okay, let's also do 26 so that they at least have, one of them they'll do as a 2-year, and then they'll do an additional year in the contract. So we'll have to see if we can find someone
Yeah.
that's affordable. Yeah, she said Denny.
Oh, Denny and Associates, yeah.
Denny. She said, yes, they're good, but they are highly priced. So, but they are on time, on schedule, but just high ticket.
Now, is that something that we could send out an email to all of them, kind of get a
That's what I'm
rough
gonna
idea?
see if, I can't remember if it had emails on that sheet. So I did ask her about some of the things. I said, it sounds to me like this seems to be an issue with a lot of people I've heard for Montana, and I knew there were some listed like in other states. And she said, well, the ones in Colorado she thinks are pretty much just for housing, not.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, well, all right, then probably not those. So, and I don't remember if there were ones in Idaho or not. I think so.
Sheriff? Anything?
I had an issue sending out my email bills this month. Apparently, we have a cap through Montana Sky on how many emails we can send out in a day.
Probably
And
not.
that cap is 200, and we've just hit that this last month, I guess. So I'm doing some brainstorming to see how I can do a workaround on that. A couple options are switching to a Gmail account. We already have one set up so that we can do the YouTube account. So that's a possibility. Greg said he could host email addresses for us, $5 a month per address.
And
We
he
have
sent in
we have 14 addresses for the city. It comes out to $840 a year for email hosting. I reached out to Montana Sky. They said they are about to start charging for email hosting, but they haven't set that schedule yet for how much it's going to cost. Black Mountain is going to help me work through, I might be able to do half of the bill file today, half of the bill file tomorrow.
Yeah.
To get around that, it'll be very inconvenient, but possible. So that's where we stand there.
Gmail is unlimited, right?
And
Well,
free.
it's way higher than ours anyway. It was like I could send 2,000 or something a day, and we don't even have 2,000 customers, so that wouldn't be an issue.
Well, somebody's got to pay their bill. You don't have to send it to everybody, right?
We only have, we have just over 200 accounts on email billing right
Oh.
now.
Which saves in postage.
Saves a lot.
And printing out.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
the email bill, you get to see your last year usage for water and electric and everything. It's
Yeah.
actually
If your meter
pretty
works.
Yeah.
If your meter works.
Yeah.
Is our website through Montana Sky Hosting also, or is that? I don't think it is.
don't believe so. It's hosted by WordPress. I don't know where we pay our domain name. I think Kay might know that.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's coming up soon, so.
Yes.
Because we should be able to get a domain through Gmail, through Google.
Right, and have, so that it would say at.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it would be through Gmail.
well, if you can put that on your list to do when you return from
in the
vacation.
new year.
Yeah.
When you return, so in the next few weeks, please.
And we did post the cops position. We have one hard copy that has been turned in, and I know there was an online one today. So that's what we've got so far. And I think we put it to the 31st of December, just
Okay?
that's a little over 2 weeks, but
Yeah, okay.
with everything going on, just.
So it's only at Job Service and Indeed right now? That's where you were able to post it through?
No, so I was talking to Henry about that today, so we're looking to do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Public comments on matters not on the agenda.
Guy over there hasn't said nothing.
He went first.
Oh, you went first? I didn't even hear him? I'm
His
sorry.
whole trailer's ready now.
Oh, the trailer, that's where that came from. I wanted to hear more out of you guys reading this paper. I'm going, I didn't hear this stuff, man. I know the power was out on the Kootenai Drive from the guy hitting the thing. I never heard you say that.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was on there.
Yeah, I was reading it, see, I read.
You did it, yeah.
All right, I got you.
Well, I think a week later, it caused the power to go out again.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to go through any?
No, it's cool, I got it, buddy.
Department report?
Oh, Ward got a question.
Well, I was just kind of wondering, it's not really a comment or anything important, no issue, but Christmas bonuses. I'm not asking for me, but I've really got to say, my guys impress me every day. Like, if the budget could handle a little something, I'd really like to kick my guys something.
You know, I've been working for the school 16 years. I think I get a sweater this year.
Yeah.
Like an actual sweater, like a cardigan?
Like a pullover. Like, all right, probably should have Troy on it,
Like, it
huh?
better have
It's all
snowflakes
varsity.
on it.
Are you on days, Travis, or are you on days or nights? What do you?
I'm on nights right now.
Okay. I'll swing down, talk to you and Clay tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, just like I say, I mean, I know the budget is what it is, but if we could do that, like I said, I really don't need one, but if we could do something for my guys, I appreciate it.
Is there a Christmas party this year or no Christmas party?
I think
Because if not, there's money saved right there.
that's true.
I don't know if we actually budget for a Christmas party.
Well, that's just somebody
Yeah,
who's
right.
Everybody bring something.
No.
BYOF.
Peanut butter
Yeah,
and
we
jelly
should.
sandwiches.
The last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, last meeting, you guys were concerned about grants and this
AFR.
AFR. Did anybody find out if it's going to affect our grants or?
We're good.
Yep.
So the grant extension, or, I mean, the audit extension
They're all in good shape.
allows us to
So
be
we
able to put
were
in.
worried about the audit. The audit was the problem because they did not extend. Initially, she did not approve the extension for the audit being late, but they have now, so
This is grants.
for this moment,
Okay.
we are good.
Get them in and get them reimbursed.
Yes, so he
Yeah, 'cause I
says.
called that.
Yes, so I was gonna say, I need to get with some help.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clean up.
Yes.
Any other comments on matters not on the agenda? Okay, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
You get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Unanimous? Have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you very much.
I didn't want to interrupt the meeting. Congratulations.
Let's go.
I wanted to go over with you to make sure. Because I was thinking there might be one, but I wasn't 100% sure, so.